Back in Minneapolis as we get set for the Vikings and the Lions. A look at the NFC North standings. Vikings on top despite back-to-back losses to Philadelphia and Chicago. A new offensive coordinator today. And for more on the Vikings situation, downstairs to Laura Oakman. Laura.
Hi, Kenny. Talking about the state of those Vikings. Lion safety Glover Quinn said there's only so much a team can withstand. They've lost 2 straight and their offensive coordinator. We see blood in the water and we want to attack it so hard. They still feel it when we see them again in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Vikings Kyle Rudolph says there's no blood in this water, saying the walls are not closing in. We are not in disarray. We are the same team that went 5-0 and have everything we need in this locker room to right the ship. Kenny?
Thanks, Laura. Lions won the toss, elected to defer. Sam Martin will get things started. Cordero Patterson is back deep for the Vikings. And Patterson will take it out. And he gets back to the 25, out to the 26-yard line. As Sam Bradford leads the Vikings offense out onto the field under new offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur.
Yeah, getting back with Pat Shurmur, familiar with each other from back with his rookie year with the Rams and then also in Philadelphia last season. And obviously all the Vikings fans wanting to see what difference there'll be in this offense this afternoon. A lot of that regarding Sam Bradford and the protection he'll receive.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Matt Asiata in the backfield, and this is Asiata. And he takes it out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 9 on 1st down.
Well, all eyes are going to be on this group. Jeremiah Searles gets the start at left guard. Alex Boone is out. We've got Jake Long at left tackle. This group has given up, or combinations of these players have given up 11 sacks over the last 2 games. With that pressure, you're not able to take advantage of your skill position players in the passing game or to get your run game started.
Alex Boone out with the concussion, start of the first 7 games. 2 tight end set, 2nd down and 1. As the Vikings pick up a 1st down, it's Stephon Diggs out to the 44-yard line for a gain of 10.
Ziggy Ansah, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. No sacks yet this season. You know he's excited to face an offensive line that's struggling. They still don't have DeAndre Levy back at the linebacker play. Darius Slay also not back. Thought he may have been back this afternoon, so still a little bit banged up for that Lions defense.
Slay missing his 2nd consecutive game. From the 43-yard line on 1st down, Bradford complete to the tight end, Rhett Ellison. Ellison ruled down at the 47, gain of 4. First of 2 meetings this month between the Vikings and Jim Caldwell's Lions. Detroit, 3 straight wins and then a loss to Houston last Sunday. What a week for Mike Zimmer. The coaching change with Norv Turner leaving and suffered a torn retina. Had to get that fixed on Tuesday.
Well, the good news is he had a scratched cornea and went in to get that fixed, and they found out he had the detached retina, which he was not aware of. So a little bit of luck there.
2nd down and 6. This is Jerick McKinnon, who did not play against the Bears on Monday. Josh Bynes, Nevin Lawson the tackle. McKinnon back from the ankle issue. It will be 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings on their opening possession.
And I think the addition of Jerick McKinnon is important. Matt Asiata is one of those glue guys, does everything you ask him to do, but Jerick McKinnon brings along a little bit of that explosive potential in the run game.
There's Pat Shurmur, had been the tight ends coach. Shurmur calling the plays into Sam Bradford. 3rd down and 5. As Bradford throws, and that is broken up by Johnson Bonamosi. Pass intended for Adam Thielen.
And he has Adam Thielen open. He's just got to get it out front. Good protection by the offensive line up front, by the running backs working on the pressure. You can see there's the separation, but the ball's thrown behind Adam Thielen. Should have been a completion for a 1st down.
Jeff Locke out to punt. Andre Roberts back deep for the Detroit Lions. End over end kick. Roberts waiting, fair catch at the 14-yard line. Matthew Stafford and the Lions offense coming up. We had a chance to tour the stadium, Darryl, yesterday. It is just tremendous.
It really is. The same architectural firm that did this stadium has also done AT&T in Dallas and Lucas Oil Field. You see a lot of those similarities, but some unique things here. It's absolutely stunning.
Vikings have not lost here, 3-0 at home this season as Stafford hands it off on first out to Theo Riddick. And Riddick gets stripped up by Harrison Smith after a gain of 3.
Well, I think the big question mark for Matthew Stafford coming into the season, what are you going to do without Calvin Johnson on the outside? The group of wide receivers that he's working with, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Anquan Bolden, have done a nice job. And you see Matthew Stafford adjusting to that, a little bit more mobile, looking for the ability to escape, get on the edges, and throw the ball down the field.
He spread the ball around, one of two teams with 4 players with at least 30 receptions. Lions empty the backfield on 2nd and 7. Stafford throws near side. It is Golden Tate who makes the catch. Forced out of bounds by Xavier Rhodes. Tate picks up a first down as we check out the Lions offense.
A couple of young guys on the left side, and this offensive line starting to grow and getting more reps together. That will be important. They have a great skill set out here. A lot of people talk about the wide receivers, but Theo Riddick out of the backfield is a tough matchup. And Eric Ebron, when he's healthy, playing the tight end position, also a tough matchup. They've got as good a skill set in the NFL that they can throw at you.
It's Corey Robinson, number 70 at right tackle, starting for Riley Reif. First and 10 from the 25-yard line, and this is Riddick. And he is tackled from behind by Everson Griffin. No gain on the play. Vikings with the 2nd-ranked defense in the NFL.
Yeah, and against Chicago, did not play to the level that we would expect this group to play against. And when you look at the defense here, one of the guys that really jumps out at you on Phil, Xavier Rhodes playing the corner position. We just talked about the skill players for the Detroit Lions. That'll be one of the matchups that I'm looking forward to see as he picks and chooses who's he's going to defend.
Vikings have allowed under 15 points per game, best in the NFL. 2nd down and 10. Stafford hands it off. It's Riddick. And Riddick gains a couple before he is brought down by Chad Greenway, the senior member of this Viking squad.
And it's a good start for this defense. They gave up some big runs early against Chicago, playing much better here. Gaps down, there's Chad Greenway. Linebacker position, sifting through, reading it, getting off the block, making the tackle in space.
So some nice tackles. First Griffin on first down, and then Greenway on 2nd.
And this is the issue that Minnesota gives you. They get everybody walked into that line. You've got to figure out who you think is coming, who you think is dropping in coverage.
They just get the snap off, and Riddick will pick up a first down and more. Theo Riddick is all the way to the 30 of the Minnesota Vikings, a 42-yard run.
Well, you've got everybody walked up. They call it a mug blitz. You get your linebackers walked up in your gaps right here. Now, as they go to pull out in the zone coverage, you get that blocked up right, or they're backing out, and there's nobody there. Theo Riddick is on the safety in his first couple of steps.
Longest run of the season for the Lions, and a career long for Riddick. He's replaced by the rookie out of Washington, Dwayne Washington. From the 30, this is Golden Tate, looks to cut it back, and Tate gets stripped up. There's a lot of running gains, just a yard.
Very close, though, to coming out all the way to the back side of that. Had he not got tripped up and he was able to make that turn and get on the sideline, that could have been a big play for Golden Tate. And what we've seen, he had a kind of a slow start at the beginning of the year. And what you've seen about week 4, week 5 was a conscious effort to get Golden Tate more involved in the offense early in the game with plays like that. Get him on a quick screen on the outside, let him use his elusiveness to try to get a big play.
Lions send it a fullback, Michael Burton, part of a bunch formation to the left, now shifts into the backfield. On 2nd and 9 with Burton leading the way. This is Washington, and he gets wrapped up by Linval Joseph along with Anthony Barr. No gain. 3rd and 9 coming up. But first, a game break with Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Big matchup in the NFC East after a Carson Wentz turnover. Giants able to capitalize and get that anemic offense going. Odell Beckham Jr., 26-yard touchdown. Giants lead 7-0. Kenny, Darryl, and Laura.
Thanks, Carissa. Both the Giants and Eagles at 4-3. Big game here in Minneapolis. Another divisional matchup. 3rd down and 9 for the Lions. They must get to the 20 for a first down as Stafford throws, and it's off the hands of Anquan Boldin.
Opportunity for Anquan Boldin to make a big play here early in the game. Minnesota's bringing pressure, but they get it blocked up. Working against Campton Mutterland. He's got it right there. Harrison Smith is coming up for the hit, but Anquan Boldin, one of the more physical receivers in the league, just unable to make that play.
So here is Matt Prater. 47-yard attempt from the right hash. Sam Martin places it down, and Prater's kick is straight through. So the Lions strike first. The big play, the 42-yard run by Theo Riddick. 3-0 Detroit. What a day in Minneapolis. 67 degrees outside, and the doors to the left of that big video board are open, creating a natural airflow.
It's beautiful. There's some elements to this facility that are just so unique to the architectural style. And then you get inside, it's beautiful throughout the stadium.
Vikings will start from their 25 midway through the first quarter, trailing the Lions 3-0.
This game is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King. And by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Look inside the Vikings locker room. Minnesota, of course, missing 4 key players on offense. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, running back Adrian Peterson, left tackle Matt Khalil, started the first 2 games. Right tackle Andre Smith, who started the first 4. Bradford on first down, catches the pass after it was batted back.
Starting to see that more and more this season. That's got to be the 3rd one I've seen this year where the quarterback has completed the pass to himself. I thought Sam was just going to knock this down, but it's a heads-up play regardless whether he knocks it down. But you know what? I think I got some green grass out there in front. I'm going to take off to the sideline.
Bradford gains 5 on his first career reception. Wasn't Brett Favre's first career completion to himself?
It was.
As a member of the Atlanta Falcons. 2nd down and 5 on the toss. This is Ronnie Hillman. And Hillman has a first down and more. Glover Quinn forced him out. So was that previous play exactly as Pat Shermer had it drawn up? Bradford with the completion to Bradford?
Absolutely. You're gonna go to one of your gadget plays early in the game right there. But you want to take anything positive you possibly can. It's going to be important for Minnesota to stay ahead of the chain, stay ahead on down and distance. That will be Pat Shermer's job. But I agree with what Howie Long said in the pregame show. You cannot abandon the run and just go to a quick passing game. You have to establish it. You have to commit to it. However you feel that you're going to be successful running the football.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line as the catch is made by Stephon Diggs. Nevin Lawson the tackle. Well, you mentioned, Darryl, Sam Bradford, Pat Shermer together. Bradford's rookie season, first overall pick by the Rams, and then with the Eagles last year. In fact, Shermer was the interim head coach for the last regular season game in Philadelphia and reunited this season here in Minnesota.
Well, one of the big reasons I'm sure Sam Bradford is here, you have Pat Shermer, who can speak very, very intelligently on what Sam Bradford brings to the quarterback position, and then Sam giving Pat Shermer a lot of credit for his development his rookie year.
On 2nd and 4, it's McKinnon. So the Vikings now facing a 3rd and about a yard and a half.
And we started the broadcast talking about complementary football. And for the Minnesota Vikings on offense, that means running the football efficiently, not turning the ball over. And that will be the model that they're trying to strike here. So that's why it's important for that running game to be a part of it. Remember, this is a franchise built around Adrian Peterson in that running game. The defense complements it by playing very aggressively, taking the football away. Special teams, their job, try to create some field position foundation for your offense to start drives.
Bradford throws on 3rd down and 1. Catch is made by McKinnon. There is a flag, our first of the game, as Jerick McKinnon picks up a 1st down to the Lions 44. Ed Hockley, our referee today.
Pass interference offense, number 84, was blocking downfield before the pass was caught, which is the rule. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
That's on Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, you cannot be more than 1 yard downfield. Here's Cordero Patterson right here. Now, these are all timing-based throws, so let's see what happens. He gets definitely beyond 1 yard downfield, and he's blocking. It's going to be a quick throw, so you got to sell that a little bit better. The officials are watching for it. It's something that a lot of these offenses have introduced over the last couple of seasons.
Vikings force back 10 yards, now 3rd down and 11. 3 wide receivers set. Bradford with time on 3rd down. He throws. Intended for Charles Johnson. Vikings wanted a flag. Devin Lawson on the coverage. Vikings will punt it away.
Well, good news for the Vikings. Their protection is holding up here in the beginning of the game. The ball is coming out quick. This one, they're going to hold it a little bit more because of the length they have to go right here. And the fans here not happy about it. Nevin Lawson, he's got his hand there. He's got to pull. Okay, now I always talk about at the beginning of the game, what you do is you find out how they're going to call the game. So Ed Hockley appears to be allowing the players to play on the outside. He's not going to call it tight, as evidenced by that last play.
Jeff Locke punting for the 2nd time. Andre Roberts waiting. Fair catch. Back at the 13-yard line. Good stand by the Lions defense. 3-0 Detroit. Back in Minneapolis, Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Laura Oakman. Lions with a 3-0 lead on the Vikings. Lions started at their 14 on their first possession. This time at the 13-yard line. Washington in the backfield. Quick release from Stafford, and Marvin Jones Jr. unable to make the catch as we check in with Laura.
Kenny, last time the defense was out there, the Vikings defense, Captain Munderland limped off the field. He's back out there, but not 100%. He's actually walking off right now in a lot of pain. The head athletic trainer, I'd say wrapping his ankle, but I mean mummifying his ankle and then putting a brace over his knee as well. Just came off looking pretty dejected and in pain. I'll update it, but it is his ankle and his knee.
Thanks, Laura. Lions send in Cornelius Lucas, 77, as an extra blocker on the right side. 2nd down and 13 as Washington is brought down after a gain of 2. Everson Griffin along with Harrison Smith.
It was funny talking to Jim Caldwell yesterday. We brought up Theo Riddick as somebody to talk about at the running back spot, and he immediately went to Dwayne Washington. He's gotten him back, gotten him healthy. Now, this is a big physical running back who has some sneaky breakaway speed. So look for him to be the featured guy in the running game this afternoon for the Lions.
Riddick with the 42-yard run earlier. Washington remains in. 3rd down and 8. Off the fake to Washington. This is Tate, spins free, and it stops short. Everson Griffin brought down Golden Tate, so the Lions forced to punt it away.
Again, trying to get the ball out quickly to Golden Tate and allow him to work out in space. It will be a challenge today against this defense. They are fast. They run to the football. Look at all the guys. There's Everson Griffin coming all the way from the defensive line position. But both of these teams, the margin for error is small. We saw the penalty on Cordero Patterson for the Vikings on the previous drive for Minnesota. Disrupted that. That one, a simple drop by Marvin Jones on 1st and 10, puts him behind.
Sam Martin with the bunt. This is Marcus Sherrills. As you saw, 2 punt return touchdowns. Rest of the league has 5. But he is met immediately by Don Carey. Terrific play on special teams. 3-0 Lions. Back in a moment. Minnesota Vikings won their first 5 games, averaging 24 points, only 10 on average over the last 2. And as you mentioned, Bradford sacked 11 times in the last 2 games. Today, 2 possessions, 2 punts.
And all 4 of those turnovers coming in the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles.
The only turnovers by the Vikings offense all season. Bradford in trouble, and he throws it away as he was under pressure from Devin Taylor.
But that's a good play right there by Sam Bradford. You saw the sacks in the last 2 games and how that gets you behind the chains. So, you know, the stuff that went on this week with Norv Turner, had an opportunity to speak with him, and he said it was simply just a disconnect between he and Mike Zimmer. And he said it was the hardest decision he's ever had to make, to walk away. But when you're talking about 2 guys that just don't see eye to eye on a topic as important as what are you going to do as an offense, it's not going to work moving forward. And Norv said he really feels it was the best thing for the team for him to walk out at that time. And you see right here, we saw the penalty on Cordero Patterson. You see a drop right there by Stephon Diggs. I mean, the margin for error has shrunk so small for the Vikings because they don't have Teddy Bridgewater or Adrian Peterson or Matt Khalil or Andre Smith. You lose both tackles, your quarterback who gives you a little bit of mobility to kind of make up for issues on the offensive line. You don't have your bell cow running back. You've got to be virtually perfect in the game. And there was just a difference in opinion between Norv Turner and Mike Zimmer on how to move forward with those philosophies.
3rd down and 10. You saw Adrian Peterson on the sidelines as Bradford steps up and fires. And the Vikings pick up a 1st down. It's Laquan Treadwell, the 1st-round pick out of Mississippi. That's his first reception in the NFL, a gain of 15.
And here's one of the guys that needs to step up. This is your 1st-round pick. He's been in and out of the lineup, as you pointed out, Kenny. That's his first catch in the NFL. So for Viking fans, let's hope that that's the sign of things to come, that he starts to grow and mature and build.
Here's Patterson, who spins free. Cordero Patterson into Lions territory to the Detroit 47. Another Vikings 1st down, a gain of 13.
He's really starting to understand everything about playing the wide receiver position in the NFL. Cordero Patterson has incredible breakaway speed, but there's a lot of fast guys at the NFL level. You've got to be zeroed in on the details of playing the wide receiver position. You can see his growth from year 1 to where he is now.
Bradford 7 completions to 6 different receivers, including himself. 1st and 10, 47-yard line. As Hellman takes it down to the 40. The former Denver Bronco gains 7 on 1st down.
And maybe one of the elements that Sam Bradford told us about that you might see a difference with Pat Shurmur is kind of that up-tempo style, not getting into the huddle all the time, kind of challenging the Lions defense.
2nd and 3, high snap. It's Hellman, and he picks up another 1st down. That up-tempo style, something that Shurmur learned under Chip Kelly last couple of seasons in Philadelphia. Bradford, the starter for Chip in Philly last year as well.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Chip Kelly brought a lot of interesting concepts to the NFL, and Pat Shurmur having the opportunity to work with him really talked about that. You know, one of the things that Chip Kelly hated to hear was that's the way we've always done it. So he really made them think outside the box. They started to appreciate and respect this up-tempo style offense and the stresses that it puts on the defense.
From the 36 on 1st down on the slant, it's Patterson. Cordero Patterson to the 28-yard line of the Lions as time winds down in this 1st quarter. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Vikings quickly up to the line. 3 receivers set. Hillman in the backfield as Bradford hands it off to Hillman, and he picks up a Vikings 1st down. 4th on this drive for Minnesota. After they punted on their first 2 possessions. Jim Caldwell's Lions with a 3-0 lead on the Vikings as the 1st quarter comes to an end in Minneapolis with the Vikings on the move. Back in Minneapolis, Vikings have won 16 of their last 18 at home against the Lions. Detroit winning twice in the last 5 years. First game, of course, in this beautiful new home for the Minnesota Vikings. First and 10 from the Lions 23 as McKinnon is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Ziggy Ansah.
Yeah, really, player making that play is Josh Vines, the linebacker. He's going to shoot the gap and force Jerick McKinnon to make that cut back inside. And Ezekiel Ansah, good job with his run defense, squeezing down from that defensive end position.
Loss of 3, now second down and 13. 10th play of the drive for the Vikings. McKinnon set up to the left of Bradford. Bradford throws on second down, and the catch is made by Diggs to the Lions 20. Gain of 6. Third down and 7 for the Vikings. 51 yards on this drive, equaling their first 2. Bradford on third down. It is Diggs, and he'll be stopped short. Again, it's Josh Bynes. You mentioned him a couple of plays ago, and the Vikings will send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, an opportunity right there for Kyle Rudolph. I think Kyle Rudolph is going to have the yards necessary for the first down, just a little bit beyond Stephon Diggs on that underneath route.
So Blair Walsh out to attempt a 33-yard field goal from the left hash.
Let me tell you, he was hugging the left upright all pregame when he was warming up.
And his first kick today is good. 3-3 early second quarter. Look at some of the artwork inside the stadium. 40 different artists contributing.
Some really unique things if you're a history fan of the Minnesota Vikings franchise. Some great stuff. The old football playing card, hand painted by some of the artists that contributed. Just some really unique pieces scattered throughout the facility here.
Tremendous stuff. Tied at 3. Roberts will take it out. And Roberts will be stopped shy of the 25-yard line. Brought down at the 23 by Trey Waynes. So Matthew Stafford and the Detroit offense back out onto the field in a 3-3 game.
As you pointed out, their first 2 drives starting a little bit backed up, both of them inside their 15-yard line. That was a big challenge for them last week at Houston, but a lot of that was self-inflicted. They had some penalties in special teams. Let's see what they can do here right now. Can they turn around and have a good drive after the Minnesota Vikings put together their best drive of the day?
So this is the best starting field position of the day for Detroit. Riddick in the backfield. First and 10, 23-yard line off the fake to Riddick. Stafford rolling right, throws complete to the tight end Eric Ebron, who picks up a first down. Gain of 12 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Dallas at Cleveland. Cowboys on the road, down 3. Dak Prescott to Jason Witten for that 26-yard score. Jason Witten now tied with Shannon Sharp for 4th most touchdowns among tight ends. Dallas at 7-3. Kenny.
Thanks, Carissa. Brown still the only winless team in the NFL.
It's got to be tight. They've been close so many times this season. They just can't find the ability to make those plays down the stretch.
First and 10, 35-yard line for the Lions. Stafford under pressure, and it's picked off by Chad Greenway. And Greenway on the return inside the Lions 20.
So it starts with protection. Theo Riddick has got to be a little bit better in pass protection. So watch number 25 come out. Now you're going to have a big guy that you're expected to block. That's Danielle Hunter at defensive end. But if you're going to go down low and chop, you've got to get him on the ground. He doesn't do that. And then Matthew Stafford feels the pressure. Don't know what he saw there. Michael Burton was just smothered in purple. There were multiple Viking defenders around him. But again, the complementary style that Minnesota plays with, an efficient running game, quick passing game by the offense. The defense takes the ball away and gives the offense field position.
First interception thrown by Stafford in the last 5 games as McKinnon takes it inside the 15-yard line. Lions commit only their 6th turnover of the season. And for the 11-year vet, Chad Greenway, it is his 11th career pick.
Good to see Chad Greenway back. You're thinking about retirement. He's getting to that point in his career, but he said he had to come back after the way Last season ended in a playoff loss to Seattle. Just couldn't let that be the last game of his career. So good to see him back this season.
Second down and 6. And the play is blown dead. It's a false start.
False start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty at second down.
That's TJ Clemmings.
Yeah, red zone penalties, self-inflicted things that will slow down an offense. We've talked about the challenge for this Vikings offense, what they've already overcome this season, and how that's going to affect them the rest of the way. So you've got to be spot on. You can't have those pre-snap penalties in the red zone.
Vikings committed only 1 penalty the entire game against the Bears on Monday. There's Diggs, another flag, and then another. 2 flags on the play.
You can see it where they're trying to call a block in the back.
Illegal block in the back by the offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
And you could hear one of the Vikings players say he turned his back, you know, right at the point of the block. So let's see what happens with Jeremiah Searles as he comes out. I don't even think he gets a piece of him. You know, to me, it looks like Mackenzie Alexander is more kind of leaping, and it's just a slight hand on the back.
Second consecutive Minnesota penalty, forcing them back to the 27-yard line. Second down and 19. Rudolph in motion. Bradford on the toss. It's Hillman. Stutter step, nowhere to go. And he is brought down by Glover Quinn back at the 31, a loss of 4 on the play.
Well, if you're going to have success in the red zone, you've got to be clean. This is the margin for error here is just, it's so important, and you can't have the mistakes that they're having on this drive. You can see they're ranked 28th in the NFL right now, but the pre-snap penalty, the block in the back, that was great penetration by Detroit's front, but that's a negative run.
Right, they started this drive in the red zone at the 18, but then the 2 penalties and the negative play forcing them back to the 31-yard line. Third down and 23. Bradford in trouble. Down he goes. Sacked back at the 41-yard line by Kerry Hyder. What a story he's been. It's his team-leading 6th sack this season.
Holding the ball right here, you're only rushing 4. Plenty of time for Sam Bradford. He's in the pocket right now. There's Ronnie Hillman. Just take your check down. Just take it. You've got 3 routes that are down the field. You're trying to get something deep. It's not there. Just check it down to your back in the flat. See if he can do something with the ball in space.
How often does a team start a drive at their opponent's 18-yard line and then punt? 2 penalties, a loss of 4, and then a sack. Jeff Locke punting from close to midfield. Fair catch at the 16-yard line by Roberts.
Couldn't even punt the distance for the first down.
No, he could not. Vikings unable to capitalize on the Detroit turnover, the interception by Chad Greenway.
That happened to him twice in Philly. First and goal inside the 5, first and goal inside the 20. Got 0 points of those opportunities in Philly, and they do it here again against Detroit. They've got to be opportunistic. They've got to capitalize for points when their defense gives them chances.
This is Washington on first down. Anthony Barr, the initial contact.
Nice, tough run. If they're not blowing the whistle, keep churning.
Washington kept on going, and he gains 8 as we head downstairs. Check in with Laura.
Kenny, last time I talked to you about Captain Munderland walking off the field after they tended to his ankle and knee, they were mostly looking at that ankle. He came out, had a play in, winced off, was in a lot of pain. They took him into the locker room to undergo x-rays. The good news, he's out here. The bad news is he's out here in a baseball hat with that knee injury after undergoing x-rays.
All right, thanks, Laura. Second down and 2 following that 8-yard run by Washington. Marvin Jones Jr. picks up a first down. Out to the 29-yard line. Xavier Rhodes the stop.
they've just got such a group on the outside to contain, and sometimes I think it's hard not to overlook Theo Riddick and Eric Ebron because you're so focused on Marvin Jones Jr. and we've seen Golden Tate on those quick outside plays, getting the football thrown to him again. I think one of the great things that Minnesota does from a defensive standpoint is their speed and their pursuit to the football. It's going to be fun to watch during the course of the day if they can have success out on the perimeter.
Play clock at 3. First and 10, 29-yard line on the toss. It is Washington. And Dwayne Washington takes it out to the 34-yard line for a gain of 5. Hunter the tackle.
Well, you can see why Jim Caldwell was really excited about getting some carries for Dwayne Washington. That's a great decision right there, but watch the finish of the run. The one earlier in this drive where, he just continued to drive his legs and move that pile. And again, we talked about he's a big physical guy, but he has some sneaky breakaway speed, a 96-yard kickoff return touchdown in the preseason.
More flags. False start.
False start, offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, it's second down.
Right guard Larry Warford. First Detroit penalty. Stafford to the outside. It's Ebron. Xavier Rhodes the tackle at the 37-yard line. It will be third down and 2.
There's one of the guys we're talking about. They've got Theo Riddick to the right, and there's Eric Ebron, number 85, out to the left side. Just check it down into the flat. This is a nice little move right here for a big guy inside. But Xavier Rhodes, I mentioned it earlier, he's really, really fun to watch on tape. And it'll be a challenge for Jim Bob Cooter to get some plays called against Xavier Rhodes.
Lions keep it on the ground on third down, and Theo Riddick able to move the chains out to the 43. Riddick with that 42-yard run, career best earlier, would set up the Detroit field goal, and now a new set of downs for the Detroit Lions.
Again, just like we talked about with Minnesota, Detroit needs to continue to have the called runs be a part of their running game. They can't just rely on jet sweeps and bubble screens and things like that. Theo Riddick off to a good start today running the football along with Dwayne Washington.
From the 43 on first down, Chad Greenway says not this time as he wraps up Riddick at the line of scrimmage.
Just amazes me sometimes how these guys are able to navigate their way through all these big bodies up front into the backfield. And there's Chad Greenway finding his way through the alleys in the offensive and defensive line to get into the backfield, make the stop.
Vikings without linebacker Eric Kendricks. Terrific first half for Greenway. And the interception earlier. Second down and 10. Off the fake to Riddick. Stafford fires, and it's off the hands of Ebron.
An opportunity for a nice play here. Number 85, Eric Ebron, watch the in route. About 12 yards down the field, gets the separation. Andrew Sendejo is driving on it, but thought they had an opportunity for a catch there. Just maybe a little bit mistimed on the jump by Eric Ebron.
Third down and 10 for the Lions. They must get to the Minnesota 47. Play clock is at 2. Stafford throws. There is a flag. Anquan Bolden looks to be just shy of the marker.
Xavier Rhodes tapping his helmet. Looks like he's coming off for a rest. Hopefully nothing there from an injury standpoint, just to get a breather after chasing these Lion wide receivers all over the field.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal hands to the face, defense number 29. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
That's on Rhodes. Automatic first down for the Lions.
Yeah, big physical corner, plays it in a physical manner. He's going to be on the outside here, and we'll see what happens on the release, see if those hands get up on Marvin Jones Jr. So funny, the pass interference that they let go is a little bit, they let him play in that situation. That was kind of a quick call on Xavier Rhodes right there.
Trey Waynes in for Rhodes. Second-year corner out of Michigan State. Number 26. On the toss, it's Washington. Greenway and Harrison Smith on the tackle as we head to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Cowboys haven't lost since week 1. The Browns haven't won since last year. Ezekiel Elliott trying to keep both streaks going. It's 14-3 right now in the second quarter. Cowboys trying to get to 7-1. Kenny, Moose, and Laura.
That was a long time before we had running backs being taken in the top 10 of the drafts, and Ezekiel Elliott going number 4 to the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of people wondering what he was going to do with his rookie campaign. Boy, he's off to a tremendous start. I'm very, very impressed with Ezekiel Elliott.
On 2nd and 7, it's Golden Tate. Tate to the 45-yard line of the Vikings.
Terrence Newman on the coverage right there, and it was fun talking with Xavier Rhodes and then talking with Terrence Newman, and the respect that they had for each other. The young guy, you know, very, very complimentary of how Terrence prepares, understands the mental game, can see everything, and trying to incorporate that into his game along with his physical skills.
And now Newman comes off, Rhodes back in, Waynes now at left corner. 3rd down and 3. Play clock winding down. It is at 2. Lions get the snap away. And they pick up the first down to the Vikings 34-yard line. It is Anquan Bolden.
One of the things that Minnesota talked about when we asked them about the differences in Matt Stafford, and they said you can tell he has complete control of the offense. You can see here at the line of scrimmage changing the play, and you see a situation with Anquan Bolden matched up. You know, second guy, he's kind of in the middle of the slot there. That's a great opportunity to be able to convert that. He's such a big physical guy at the point of the catch.
The 11th play of the drive for the Lions. From the Vikings 36, it's number 36, Washington. Gain of 3 to the Minnesota 33.
And I want to be a little bit careful there. Dwayne Washington, the end of that run, reaching out like it's the goal line. You know, you get down towards the goal line, you reach it out, you break the plane. It's a touchdown. Here, trying to just grab an extra yard by extending that out, and you're not down yet. You got to be very, very careful. Turnovers will be huge in this game this afternoon.
Clock winding down. And we hit the 2-minute warning here in Minneapolis with the Lions on the move. Tied at 3. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining. Second quarter. It's Captain Muddle along with Adrian Peterson. Terrence Newman back on the field at left corner for the Vikings. 2nd down and 7 from the Minnesota 33. Golden Tate, and there is a flag at the end of the play.
That's a new play we're seeing around the league too coming in this year. Just that little touch, not even the jet sweep anymore where they catch it and hand it off, but they're just timing it up.
Offense number 36. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
That's on Dwayne Washington.
You see Dwayne Washington on the outside of your screen, got a handful of Harrison Smith's jersey. Can't wrap him around the back, Kenny. Got to hold him from the front.
Is that your trick?
Yep. Got to get inside tight. He can hold real good there. Nobody gets to see it.
North teach you that?
No, Joe Brodsky.
Second down and 15 as Stafford steps up and throws complete to the tight end, Ebron.
He's going to give him a chance. That's a good finish after the catch. They'll have a 3rd and short here to keep this one alive. It's just so easy to lose Eric Ebron and Theo Riddick in coverage because you're so focused on that wide receiver group. He does a really nice job working the middle of the field.
Third and inches. Extra blocker, 77 Lucas. Roberts in motion. On 3rd down, it is Washington with second effort. And Dwayne Washington picks up a Lions 1st down as we hit 1 minute remaining.
Well, Linville Joseph is in here immediately. He's up the backfield and just jams the whole thing up. I just didn't have an opportunity to see the ball, find the ball carrier. They're trying to wham him. So the tight end is trying to cross formation and get a wham block on him. And Linville Joseph is up the field so fast. If he could have located the ball carrier, he might have stuffed that for a loss.
Safety Anderson Dale out to the Vikings have lost a number of players in their secondary at times today.
Anthony Harrison for him.
Stafford can't find anyone. Now he throws, and the catch is made down at the 5-yard line by Eric Ebron. As the clock hits 19 seconds remaining, Lions use their first time out, a 20-yard pass play. 1st and goal from the 5 when we come back. "19 seconds remaining in the half. 9.5 minutes on a 15-play drive for the Lions, matching their season long as far as number of plays. Bunch formation to the left. 1st and goal. Stafford throws. And working his way down inside the 3-yard line is Golden Tate. And now Detroit will use timeout number 2. What's coming up at halftime, Kurt Menefee?
Don't move. Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs, well, they're looking to put the freeze on the Jaguars. And Ben Roethlisberger hoping not to look stiff in his return. So sit still. Terry, Michael, Jimmy, Howie, and me are next on the Visa halftime.
I hope Terry's okay.
Yeah, I wonder what he said to Howie to get him so upset.
Maybe we'll find out. 1 timeout remaining, 13 seconds. 2nd and goal. Stafford looking towards the end zone, and then he throws it away, and there is a flag.
Should be holding on Mackenzie Alexander. Down here in the
Before
bottom,
the
working the
pass is
slot.
thrown, holding defense number 20. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
But that's a couple of plays that Matt Stafford has created with his escapability. Is one of the things that Terrence Newman told us about. You know, you don't have Calvin Johnson anymore, so where do you see Matthew different? He said he's excellent at understanding where the escape lanes are and his mobility in the pocket. He had the big movement for the throw down inside the 5, and then he created that penalty right there by being able to extend the play.
1st and goal from the 1. 8 seconds remaining, and the Lions will get the ball first following halftime as well. As Stafford throws, end zone, touchdown, Anquan Boldin.
Well, we got a lot of guys in and out of the lineup in the secondary for the Minnesota Vikings, and that's not going to get past Matthew Stafford. Here's the matchup he wants, Anquan Boldin versus Mackenzie Alexander. Physical release right there by Anquan Boldin. Gets the separation. Touchdown for the Lions. What an impressive drive to end the first half.
17 plays, 84 yards. 5th touchdown of the season for Bolden. The extra point is good. Stafford to Bolden. Lions lead the Vikings 10-3. Here's Anquan Bolden. He has given the Lions the lead. A 17-play, 84-yard drive. Vikings have not had the football since that drive following the interception. They started at the Lions 18 and were forced to punt.
The red zone reverse.
Right. This is Patterson as time winds down.
He almost came out of that.
First half will come to an end. Patterson down at the 29, so the Vikings have not run an offensive play since the 10:42 mark of the second quarter. Lions lead at 10-3, and they will get the ball first in the second half. To Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report. 10-3 Lions. Today's excitement is brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Stafford under pressure, and it's picked off by Chad Greenway. Bradford in trouble. Down he goes. Sacked back at the 41-yard line as Stafford throws, end zone, touchdown. Anquan Bolden. That was today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Our first half summary, check this out. Remember, the Vikings started in the red zone and then punted. First time that has happened in the NFL since 2011. Guess who the Rams quarterback was in that game? Sam Bradford. Lions 17-play drive to end the first half. And the touchdown pass from Stafford to Bolden. Roberts on the return. Out to the 23-yard line. And Darryl, we often talk about the decision to defer. Teams love to score at the end of the first half and then get the ball first to start the third quarter, and that's exactly what's happened here.
You couldn't orchestrate it any better for the Detroit Lions. That long drive at the end of the first half. Can they come out and pick up right where they left off, gain some separation right here? But we talked about complementary football for the Vikings at the top. They needed to get back to that. They haven't done it. The missed opportunity on the Chad Greenway interception with great field position, not getting any points from that is just one of those things that's demoralizing to a team trying to find their way through all these injuries.
Matthew Stafford and the Lions start from their 23-yard line, and Washington cannot make it back to the line of scrimmage. Another nice play made by Chad Greenway as we head downstairs. Check in with Laura.
Hi, Kenny. I'm going to start with the Lions' Jim Caldwell, who went right to the turnover, saying you can't turn it over, period. But especially against this team, we cannot do that. Offensively, wants to really keep mixing it up with the run and pass, but really wants to get that run game going and balance it up between that young Washington and veteran Riddick. Defensively, had 2 words. We're playing tough and hard. We got to keep that up.
53 yards for Riddick in the first half, 23 for Washington. And this is Washington out to the 26-yard line. So the Lions now facing a 3rd down and 6.
And just to keep that momentum going, fortunately for the Vikings, that separation at halftime to get that defense a little bit of a breather, but they do not want to come out and start the second half. It's still going to tax them a little bit. There'll be a little bit of fatigue there now pressing through the rest of this first half, or second half.
Lions must get to the 32-yard line for a first down. 4 receivers set. Riddick in the backfield. Quick release from Stafford. And the Lions go 3 and out. Terrence Newman coming up to make the play on Golden Tate.
This is the preparation that Xavier Rhodes talks about with Terrence Newman. The film study, trusting your instincts. In this formation, what are they going to do? He sees the little bubble screen. He beats the blocks by the 2 front wide receivers and goes in and makes a big tackle. That's great preparation during the week and recognition by Terrence Newman.
The 14-year vet spent his first 9 seasons in Dallas, 3 years in Cincinnati, and now his 2nd season as a Viking. Punt fielded at the 26 by Diggs. Good field position for the Vikings out across the 35. So a good opening series for the Minnesota Vikings defense, led by Newman. They trail by 7. Across the St. Croix River in Menominee, Wisconsin, on Friday night, the Pulaski Red Raiders and the Menominee Mustangs in playoff action. First play for the Vikings on offense in nearly 13 minutes as Diggs gains a couple, and we check in with Laura.
Kenny, everyone wanted to see how this Vikings offense would look with Pat Shurmur calling the plays, including Mike Zimmer. He told me at halftime, likes how they're getting the ball out faster and protecting Bradford. Now we just have to finish drives. Defensively, we have to tackle better. They're making plays, but we're giving them plays too. Kenny?
Thanks, Laura. Second down and 8. Prior to that last play, the Lions had run 20 consecutive plays since the last time the Vikings were on offense. Bradford over the middle, out to the 41-yard line. It is Asiata. Third down and 3 coming up for Minnesota.
A good job by the Lion defenders right there, closing the gap. Matt Asiata trying to split him to get some extra yards, but good tackle.
Sam Bradford's numbers today. Remember that last Vikings possession following the interception? They started at the Detroit 18. 2 penalties, a negative play, and then a sack. Took them out of field goal range. Bradford on third down and 3. Steps up, in trouble, down he goes. Sacked for the second time today. Again, it is Hyder.
He's just unbelievable. This is going to be done by Ezekiel Ansah. He's standing up right here. He's going to loop all the way around. Corey Hyder's here inside, working inside, undersized guy. Now, they tell him, hey, you want to get some more snaps? Let's get some weight down. We'll put you on the edge. He was wreaking havoc off the edge earlier in the season. Now they're moving him down inside, and he's making plays from the D tackle position as an undersized guy.
Now has 7 sacks on the season, 7 of the 20 Lions sacks. He had 3 in one preseason game against Buffalo. Block punting for the 4th time. Roberts deep. And a fair catch is called for by Roberts at the 23. So Kerry Hyder comes up big for the Lions once again. Well, Sam Bradford sacked 11 times over the last 2 games. Sacked for the 2nd time today by Hyder. Watch his head.
Yeah, and this is one of the ones we saw with Alex Smith last weekend. So that contact helmet to the turf, one of the issues that the league is trying to combat right now. Checking him out on the sideline, going back on the video, taking a look at the hit, now testing him. Probably got a little bit of a burner. You can see the test right there, the pinched nerve.
Sean Hill is the Vikings backup, the ex-Lion. Detroit starting from their 23-yard line as Stafford airs it out, looking for Marvin Jones Jr., and he makes the catch. Well, now he was ruled out of bounds, could not come down with it inbounds. Trey Waynes on the coverage.
Well, let's see Trey Waynes at the end of it. If he clamps down on one of Marvin Jones' arms and pins it, because he makes a one-handed catch. Is that an arm bar or a hold like we saw in the Seattle game? Yeah. So he's got it hooked and he's got it pulled. Very, very similar to that Atlanta-Seattle play we saw with Richard Sherman. Yeah, Matthew Stafford wants a flag. I agree. I think you can call that. He's got that arm hooked and pulled.
Jones losing the ball at the end of the play. 2nd down and 10. Riddick spinning out across the 25 to the 27-yard line for a gain of 4.
Big snap right here for this Minnesota Vikings defense. And you get another 3 and out right here. Stop this offense from getting on track. Theo Riddick and Dwayne Washington doing the bulk of the work here at the running back spot. Theo Riddick with the big run there in that first quarter.
Longest run of the season by the Lions, 42 yards. Set up their first quarter field goal. 3rd down and 6. Play clock is at 2. Stafford fires and cannot connect with Bolden. So now the Lions will punt it away.
Again, showing that leadership, that role he's stepping into here in Jim Bob Cooter's offense, making the changes at the line of scrimmage, getting the concepts to the outside. Anquan Bolden, second guy in from the top, working against Terrence Newman. They're really letting him play on the outside this afternoon.
Diggs back deep for the Vikings. In place of Sherrills, who has the 2 returns for scores this year. Sam Bradford with the Vikings down 7.
This game is sponsored by Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
Vikings have punted on 11 of 16 possessions the last 2 weeks, 4 of 5 today. Minnesota looking to get something going on offense. They have only 6 first downs. On the slant, catch is made by Charles Johnson. And Johnson gains about 9.5.
One of the big topics of discussion surrounding Norv Turner's resignation was the fact that Pat Shurmur was brought in the offseason in anticipation of a move just like that, and that could not be further from the truth. Mike Zimmer told us that he talked to Norv about it. Norv signed off on it, but what Norv Turner told me was, listen, when I was a head coach of the San Diego Chargers, I had Ted Cottrell as my defensive coordinator, and I brought Ron Rivera in. I was in that exact same position as a head coach, and he assured Ted Cottrell that this was a move that was going to help the team. Ron Rivera, a 4-3 base defensive coach. Ted Cottrell, a 3-4 base defensive coach. The more knowledge we have about putting our defensive plan together, the better we can be as a team defensively. That was the situation with Mike Zimmer bringing in Tony Sperano. He wanted somebody with a different demeanor as the offensive line coach. He brought in Pat Shurmur, coming from Chip Kelly's up-tempo to mix with Norv Turner's system. And Norv Turner signed off on it. There's absolutely no truth to the fact that there's some type of conspiracy out there that this was intended to happen in the offseason.
Bradford looking for Johnson, and there is a flag.
Well, we've seen it on the outside today. There's been a couple of plays on the outside that really could have warranted a flag for pass interference, and again, very physical at the point. There's the hook and pull right there. I mean, that one is very easy. There's a number of qualifiers for pass interference. You can check the box on about 3 of them on that one for Johnson Batamosi.
22-yard penalty. That's longer than any offensive play for the Vikings today. So Minnesota in Detroit territory. Bradford split wide to the right. Asiata took the step. And this is Diggs. Inside the 35, a Vikings first down. Direct snap to Matt Asiata. And the Vikings gain 12.
You got to get a little bit creative when you're struggling in your running game. Watch the direct snap to Matt Asiata. Now the reverse to Stephon Diggs right there. Joe Berger out front gets the block, almost the alleyway right there. Tyre Whitehead coming from the inside makes the tackle right here. That may have been a big play if Tyre doesn't get in that area.
So on the last 2 plays, 22-yard gain on a pass interference call, and then 12 yards on the trick play. And now Bradford to a wide-open Adam Thielen, and he picks up another Vikings first down, and they are inside the red zone once again.
A nice job. Just something similar, something small. Matt Asiata is going to run a swing route. Now he is going to move the linebacker out of position, and Adam Thielen's going to sneak right into that spot. Talk about football being a game of inches. He just got that threaded through the defensive line.
So now the Vikings right around that same spot as we saw early second quarter. Timeout taken by the Lions. They were at the Lions 18 and then were forced to punt. Now 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Well, in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. salute. And Darrell is part of the NFL Salute to Service campaign. The Vikings today formally unveiled the POW MIA seat. For every Vikings game, one unfilled seat permanently covered in black is guarded by current military members, and that is Navy Commander Brian Danielson. His father, Air Force Captain Ben Danielson, Minnesota native, was shot down in combat during the Vietnam War. So a real nice touch by the Vikings in this new stadium as Asiata works his way inside the 10 down to the Lions' 9-yard line.
He's another one of those guys that you just have to cheer for. You know, his drive has been, he was told early on by one of his coach, Coach Saxon, running back coach, that he could play at this level. And it didn't work out for him his first year, but he never gave up on the dream. He's come back here. He's one of those glue guys. I call him glue guys. You have to have a couple of them on your team to hold everything together. He does all the dirty work. Big fan of Matt Asiata, what he brings to the table.
Second down and 2. It is Asiata again. And Matt Asiata picks up a first down to the Lions' 5.
Nice little jump cut there to get back inside. He's not going to give you anything fancy. He's not going to break a 50-yard run, probably not even a 40-yard run. But I tell you what, he is tough inside. Gives you everything he has on every snap.
Now in his 5th season out of the University of Utah. First and goal from the Lions' 5.
False start offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty, his first down.
That's Asiata.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, the last thing you would expect from Matt Asiata in that situation, you could see how angry he was at himself in that situation. He's off the ball. He's in the running back position. There's no reason for him to flinch, to be affected by any type of cadence or movement.
That's the 3rd penalty committed by the Vikings offense inside the red zone. Forcing Minnesota back to the 10-yard line. Play clock is at 2. Asiata inside the 5, and then tripped up by Tyre Whitehead down at the 4-yard line.
Nice job right there, getting pushed back. I'm expecting pass, like the run call by Pat Shurmur in that situation.
Vikings quickly back up to the line. Second and goal from the Detroit 4. Digs in the slot. They keep it on the ground with Asiata. And Asiata takes it close to the goal line, stopped just short.
Well, we talked about the O-line at the top and getting a little bit of movement right there, creating some running room for Matt Asiata.
62 and 98.
Winfield Joseph, defensive lineman in our offense, along with an extra blocker, number 62, Nick Easton. Joseph lined up as the fullback in front of Asiata, and the play is blown dead.
12 men in the field. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. It's still 3rd down.
You might need 12 guys to stop this group.
Right.
This is some big jumbo bodies right here.
Or 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Bradford throws, end zone, touchdown. Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph's first reception of the game, his 4th touchdown this season.
Now you get the defense thinking the big bodies in there. You're thinking run. They're going to go into the middle of the field. You're going to get fullback into the flat, tight end up into the corner. One of your staples in eye football down on the goal line.
Rudolph wide open. And now the Vikings will look to tie the game. Blair Walsh And Walsh off the right upright. So the Lions stay on top. They lead by 1 as Walsh misses the extra point attempt. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Rudolph the touchdown. And then Blair Walsh missing an extra point for the 3rd time this season. So the Lions lead by 1. A 9-play, 78-yard drive by the Vikings. So when we return, Detroit Lions back at offense will start from their 25-yard line with a 1-point lead. 110th all-time meeting between the Lions and the Vikings. Minnesota in their 4th different home. A look at the scores on the Lions' first trip into each stadium.
Vikings trying to even it up at 2-2.
Lions lead 10-9 on the toss. It's Washington, and he is unable to turn the corner. Shoved out of bounds by Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, nice play by Anthony Barr, though. Tough duty for Anquan Bolden. He's going to draw the tough task of blocking the linebacker, and can't get that done. A lot of help coming up from the secondary as well. He's going to be a good one.
4th season out of Florida State. 2nd down and 11, loss of a yard. 3.5 remaining, 3rd quarter in Minneapolis. Stafford on 2nd down, looks to set up the screen, but it did not fool Chad Greenway. 3rd and 11 coming up, but first a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Dallas at Cleveland. The league's leading rusher, Ezekiel Elliott, rolling. An 8-yard touchdown run here, his 2nd of the day. Dallas looking for their 7th straight win over the winless Browns. 28-10 right now in Cleveland. Kenny?
So the Cowboys continue to roll. Here in Minneapolis, fans on their feet. 3rd down and 11 for the Lions. 3 receivers to the right. Stafford steps up on 3rd down, fires downfield, looking for Marvin Jones Jr. No flags. Trey Waynes defending.
And I don't think there should have been a flag, Kenny. I think he plays it very, very well. Trey Waynes, you're going to see right at the point of the catch, he's going to get his eyes back on the quarterback to locate the ball, and then he's going to time and jump and try and deflect it. You can ride with your hand on the back like that. You're not doing anything, and then the time and the jump. Well played by Trey Waynes.
3 possessions for the Lions here in the 3rd quarter. 3 3-and-outs. They have not picked up a 1st down since the 2nd quarter. This is Diggs reversing field and then stays on his feet. There is a flag as Diggs takes it all the way out to the 41-yard line. 2 penalty markers have been thrown.
I'm going to be interested to see what this call was. I thought the guys did a nice job of not getting in a position to have an illegal block in the back. More kind of like a basketball move where you're blocking somebody out.
And Hockley getting together with his crew.
Special teams coach Mike Prefer, I think if what they're looking at, if Coach Prefer and I saw the same thing, it'd be interesting to see if Ed Hockley picks this one up. The only other thing could be Don Muehlbach, the long snapper, coming downfield and trying to say.
No fouls on the play. The block was from the side. No foul. 1st down.
Not only was it from the side, but okay, in that situation, that's that blind side. You also get a little bit of protection there. He didn't go to the head, neck, or shoulder area. Good job by Ed Hockley and his crew getting together, sorting that out, and picking up that flag.
And a nice job by Diggs on the return, 19 yards. So the Vikings with excellent starting field position from their 41, trailing by 1. Missed extra point following the Vikings touchdown. On first down, it is Asiata. Well, the UFC's legendary New York debut begins on FS1 with the biggest prelims card in UFC history. UFC 205 prelims live from Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, Saturday only on FS1. Late third quarter, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Open. Second down and 9 for the Vikings. From the 42-yard line, Bradford complete to Patterson. Cordero Patterson takes it out to the 47, setting up third down and 4.
Nice job by Ezekiel Ansah on that play. The way these offenses are set up with these quick plays out to the perimeter, not only a pass rusher, but also in pursuit. Just very athletic by Ziggy on that play. Put pressure on the quarterback, then turn, run, find the ball, track down Cordero Patterson.
Third down and 4. Bradford over the middle, complete for a first down. It's Patterson into Lions territory to the Detroit 45, an 8-yard connection.
Bringing a little bit of pressure to the inside, picked up. Sam Bradford with a clean pocket, able to find Cordero Patterson on that underneath route.
Bradford now 18 of 22. He's 7 for 7 here in the third quarter. He's had completions to 9 different receivers today, including himself. Under a minute to go, third quarter. Off the fake to Asiata. Bradford throws, through the hands of Patterson. He had a step on Tyre Whitehead.
And that's been one of the things the last couple of weeks. They had a shot down the field to Stephon Diggs against the Bears that they missed. Cordero Patterson, 84, coming from the end of the line right there. They're going to get him matched up on a linebacker. Gets behind him, he's over the top. He's got him beat, he's past him, and he just misses him over the top. Those are the ones you got to hit. You're plugging along, quick passing game, committed to the running game. When an opportunity for a big play down the field like that happens, you have to convert.
Second and 10 from the Detroit 45. McKinnon. Gain of 2 down to the Lions 43. Whitehead the tackle. Third quarter winding down.
This is what we expected, though, right, Kenny? I mean, this is the Detroit Lions style of play. It seems like everything comes down to the fourth quarter, regardless of how that first half starts out. We've seen them with big leads come back from big deficits. It always comes down to that fourth quarter. That's the style that the Vikings are playing right now due to these injuries.
All 8 Lions games have been within 1 score in the fourth quarter. Third down and 8. As Bradford gets rid of it. And the catch is made by Diggs for Vikings first down. Stephon Diggs with his 7th catch today, gain of 11. So the Vikings are on the move as we get to the fourth quarter in Minneapolis. Lions with a 1-point lead. Vikings with the only score in the third quarter, missed extra point. Lions did not pick up a first down. They gained only 5 yards in the third quarter.
How do you finish the first half with the drive that they had and then come out in the third quarter and play like that? Hats off to that Vikings defense.
Vikings offense on the move as we start the fourth. First and 10 from the Lions 31. 2 tight ends set. McKinnon in the backfield. The handoff to McKinnon. It is Whitehead on the tackle once again. Well, the second quarter, as you mentioned, Detroit with that 17-play drive. Vikings had only 5 yards in the second quarter, and then the Lions with only 5 in the third.
It's funny, we talked to Matthew Stafford about the inconsistency during the course of the season and trying to find your rhythm. And, you know, we kind of talked about, it's like college basketball today in the NFL. It's all spurts.
On 2nd and 10, Bradford looking for Charles Johnson. Badamose on the coverage.
Got good coverage here by Johnson. Badamose.
Badamose starting for the injured Darius Slay.
Nice job. Again, getting that head around. You know, as soon as you see your receiver making the play, that's why, is he gets that arm up late, that there's a no call there. He's got his head back. It's not an arm bar that he's riding him down the sideline the whole way.
3rd down and 10. Vikings must get to the 21-yard line, and they will not, as Patterson is tackled at the 28. So the Vikings will send out Blair Walsh, who missed that extra point back in the 3rd quarter.
Remember, we talked about him in pregame. He was in the middle of the field, about the distance for the extra point, and he was riding that left upright. I mean, he missed a couple wide left. He was just inside. Now he kicks that last one, and it hits the right upright. You overcorrect a little bit. He's got to be having some mixed thoughts in his head right now.
This will be a 46-yard attempt, hit from 33 earlier from the right hash. It's blocked. And on the return for the Lions, it is Glover Quinn who takes it across midfield, following the block by Nevin Lawson. So the Lions maintain their 1-point lead. Well, there's Blair Walsh. Of course, Viking fans don't have to be reminded about what happened in the playoff game against Seattle. By the way, final score of that one was 10-9. Missed extra point and a blocked field goal today. Lions start from the Vikings 42 as Stafford was under pressure. And his pass incomplete. He was looking for Riddick.
And this is going to come from Tyron Walker. Right here, you got this bunch of 3. Watch the guy in the middle. Those 3 guys right there. You're on the right hash. Good alignment, good timing, and there goes the big arm up. Now, the big thing is the reaction of the Minnesota Vikings. Very slow to react. They allowed Glover Quinn to get a nice return. I thought he was going to kind of sneak by and maybe take it back all the way once he got inside right there.
It was a 32-yard return by Glover Quinn. Second and 10 for the Lions. This is Riddick. Riddick works his way inside the 40 to the Vikings 39-yard line. Lions still looking for their first down in the second half. Looking to capitalize following the blocked field goal. Movement prior to the snap. Stafford fires downfield, and it is Sendejo. But it was a free play for the Lions.
Absolutely. And in that situation, Everson Griffin, just keep coming, and they'll shut that play down. Don't allow Matthew Stafford to have a free shot down the field.
Offside by the defensive end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
I mean, you jump it real early, and if you go unabated to the quarterback, they'll blow the whistles and shut the play down. Everson Griffin comes back and kind of hangs out there. Now, Matthew Stafford, I like that. Just take a shot down the field, throw it down to Golden Tate, see if something good happens.
Third down and 2 following the penalty. Fans rise here in Minneapolis. Stafford on 3rd down. Golden Tate, the intended receiver. It is ruled an incomplete pass. Six straight incompletions for Stafford, as the Lions will send out the field goal unit.
Well, they got a nice weapon here for their special teams with Matt Prater, one of the bigger legs in the NFL.
This will be a 53-yard attempt from the left hash. And Prater's kick is good. His season long. So at the other end, the block, and then Prater connects from 53.
This game is sponsored by Watch Dogs 2. Hack Everything. Available November 15th. Rated M for mature. And by Pfizer. Prevnar 13.
There's Blair Walsh somewhere in that picture.
There he is.
This extra point and a blocked field goal.
And anybody that's played the game of golf knows exactly what's going through his head right now. And you're missing left early in the pre-practice, and then you get in the game and you push one out right, hit the upright, and you got so many swing thoughts going through your head right now.
So the Lions lead by 4. Patterson on the return. And Patterson pulls his way over the Lions defender out to the 31.
I tell you what, he's really grown up this year. Here's a guy really starting to find his way. He's kind of come through special teams, not only just the kickoff returns. Boy, he's been excellent as a gunner this year on the punt team, and it's starting to carry over into the offense. He is not just speed anymore. I mean, he's been finishing runs. He's tough to bring down once he gets that football in his hand.
Quandre Diggs feeling the impact. So Sam Bradford and the Vikings go to work from their 31-yard line. Hillman in the backfield, 2 tight ends set. Off the fake to Hillman. Bradford throws. And the catch was made out across the 41-yard line by Stephon Diggs. That is his team-leading 8th catch today. And a Vikings first down.
This is a nice job. Stephon Diggs has a good feel right here. You see him right there on your screen. Kind of shuts it down, gets in behind Tyre Whitehead.
From the 41 on first down, Bradford over the middle. It is Diggs again. Out to the 47, gain of 6.
Kind of a breakthrough on the last time Minnesota had the ball. There was a play when Sam Bradford had pressure all around. Protection was breaking down a little bit. And I thought he moved in the pocket as well as I've seen him over the last 3 games. You know, there was not a panic. There was not a kind of tuck it and try to get outside. Just kind of a gradual climb and a slide in the pocket. And he's picked it up on this. He seems to be kind of settling down, being a lot more comfortable in the pocket here the last 2 drives for the Vikings.
Second down and 4. And across midfield for another Vikings first down. It's Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, up to right now, this guy, he's feeling it. I'm going to try and get him the ball as much as I can on these little bubble screens. He's on the outside. Going to push it up a little bit, then bounce back. You know, a jet sweep. Right now, if you can get the ball to Cordero Patterson, he's playing with a lot of emotion on the field right now.
6 receptions for Patterson today. Vikings in Lions territory from the Detroit 46. Bradford swings it out to Hillman. And Hillman has a first down and more. Inside the 20. Shoved out of bounds by Bonamosi. A 32-yard catch and run by Ronnie Hillman.
Now this is real simple. This is just misplayed by the linebackers for the Detroit Lions. Just a swing out of the backfield right here, and Cordero Patterson's not blocking. He's on the outside. He's the only one there. You can see him there in that situation.
62 is eligible receiver. 62 is eligible.
Good placement by Sam Bradford there out in front of Ronnie Hillman. Don't make him slow down to make that catch. Let him get it in full stride.
Career-long reception for Hillman, longest pass play of the day for the Vikings. From the 14 on the toss, it's Hillman. And Hillman is knocked out of bounds by Glover Quinn. after a gain of 2. Under 10 minutes remaining. 4-point deficit for the Vikings, who have not lost at home this season in 3 prior games. A missed extra point today and a blocked field goal earlier this quarter. Second down and 8. Yes, 1 punt after they started a drive in the red zone today. Bradford over the middle. 10th catch of the day by Diggs. And he is marked down at the Detroit 6.
Well, over the last couple of games, it's been the area where they've struggled a little bit. They've gotten down here with opportunities for points and have come away with none on too many occasions.
On 3rd down and 2, it's McKinnon. It will depend on the spot.
Well,
they hit the tackle, and it looks like it will be marked just short.
Yeah, they're at the 4.5-yard line. Let's see what happens here. Looks like he's up closer to the 4, but it depends on when that knee was down.
So it is 4th down. Vikings send in an extra blocker in Easton. The fullback, Zach Line. Where's their secret weapon, Linville Joseph?
Can only go to that well one time.
4th and inches. And a timeout is taken.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling on the field, but the runner was down short of the line of game.
Now the big question is, where is Jerick McKinnon down? Looks like he's down there. Is he down before he stretches out? It'll all come off a replay.
Mike Zimmer challenging the spot.
The ruling on the field stands. There is no clear and obvious evidence that the ball was beyond the line of game when the knee hit the ground. Minnesota is charged with a timeout.
And you're going to see as the right knee goes down, and then there's a surge after it. I think as you saw some of the replays, you wanted that ball to be spotted with the end of the surge, but Jerick McKinnon is down right now. He's down right there. So you could tell right there that that surge was not part of that.
4th and inches for the Vikings. Asiata.
See what it looks like here. Obviously, it's all going to depend on the spot. You've got the threat of the jet sweep with Cordero Patterson. Matt Asiata going into the pile. Kind of stood up. Now he's starting to get pulled. You can see that ball is not, it's kind of down by his waist. Ezekiel Ansah, the first one there. There's a good overtop view. Does he get up close? The first down is going to be right in that area on the 4.
Just short. Second time the Vikings have come away with nothing in the red zone. Welcome back to the site of Super Bowl 52 in February of 18 and the 2019 men's Final Four. Lions lead the Vikings by 4. Some missed opportunities for Minnesota as Riddick takes it out to the 9-yard line for a gain of 5, and he wanted a face mask.
Yeah, and I think he could have got one right here. Everson Griffin right there. Missed call by the crew right there. That'd have been a big 15 yards to get the Lions out of this little bit of a hole, but that's a nice run on first down by Theo Riddick.
The Lions with the lead despite no first downs in the second half. Only 12 total yards for Detroit since halftime. Midway through the fourth quarter, second down and 6. Stafford's pass is caught by Riddick, and he spins out across the 15-yard line. So the Lions have their first down of the second half.
And what a critical time right there, because if you don't get that first down, you're going to be punting backed up. You're going to turn right around and give Minnesota good field position again. And kind of one of the go-to guys we've been talking about, Theo Riddick, the first down run, the second down catch for the first down.
C2.
First and 10 from the 15-yard line. Stafford throws, and a diving catch is made for the Lions. First down by Eric Ebron, a gain of 12 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. And Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. We're going to head to New York here, 21-17. Giants up. Eli drops back and delivers this 32-yard strike to rookie Sterling Shepard, Manning's 4th touchdown of the day. The Giants rolling 28-17.
And just across the river from the Meadowlands, as Eli Manning has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Congratulations to your wife Diane, who has just completed the New York Marathon.
Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. A lot of time, a lot of commitment there. So I've been tracking her all through the day, and just crossed the finish line here about 8 minutes ago.
That's a bigger story than Eli's 4 touchdowns.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know how she does it. I run like a half a mile, and to think that I would have to go out to 26.2. So that was the check-in the other day.
Finish line in Central Park. Incredible. And 26 miles.
I don't know how she does it. I really don't. I don't know how any of them do that. The training is just as hard as a race.
On second and 10, the end around to Golden Tate. And Tate tries to make something out of nothing. He's down at the 28-yard line as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Big week for the Johnston family. Congratulations to you as well. This coming Thursday, you will be honored as a letter winner of distinction by your alma mater, Syracuse University.
Yes. And finally, the scheduling has been difficult, and it worked out this year. It was a Thursday night, so we're a little bit busy on the weekends, Kenny, so it hasn't worked out the last couple of years. And very excited, one of the higher honors that Syracuse bestows upon their graduates. So going to be a nice night Thursday night back at Syracuse.
Viking fans rise. Huge play coming up. 3rd down and 9 for the Lions, who lead by 4. As Stafford fires downfield, he was looking for Marvin Jones Jr. Trey Waynes on the coverage, so the Lions will punt it away, and the Vikings will get the ball back down by 4.
An aggressive play down the field. There they are at the top, working, little hand checking going on at the beginning, continues that downfield. There comes the head around. Marvin Jones trying to play a little bit back there. Matthew Stafford lobbying for the call again, but we've seen it all day long. Ed Hockley and his crew have let them play on the outside.
Only 11 penalties overall. Diggs waiting inside the 20. Stephon Diggs looking for a lane, and he is down at the 22-yard line. Vikings with an opportunity, down by 4. If you have not yet had the opportunity to attend a game here, put it on the calendar.
Absolutely. I am still amazed that this sits on the same footprint as the old Metrodome. It's just amazing that this facility, twice the size, sits on that same footprint. The finish out throughout the stadium is outstanding. The artwork we've shown you, the history of the organization of the Vikings.
Vikings start from their 21. Now Seattle gains 3. Big story today for the Vikings, Darryl, has been missed opportunities. First half, they started driving the red zone. They punt. Second half, missed extra point, blocked field goal, and then go for it on 4th down inside the 5, and they were stopped.
Yeah, the margin for error. Points are at a premium when you have the injuries that the Vikings have had this season. It has an impact on your team. It shortens the margin of error, and it's very small for the Vikings right now. They have to cash in on all those opportunities.
Second down and 7. Some miscommunication there. Adam Thielen, the intended receiver.
Yeah, it looked like it was more designed to go to Matt Asiata on the wheel route on the outside. So you're going to try and get in a release in here that allows Matt Asiata to come down the field and get up the field.
Now third down and 7. Michigan native Pat Shurmur played his collegiate ball at Michigan State. First game as Vikings offensive coordinator. Wobbly throw, but the catch is made for a first down by Thielen. And he stays in bounds across midfield to the Lions' 47-yard line. A 29-yard pass play.
A nice effort by Adam Thielen at the end of the run. A little bit behind again, gets back inside, and just continues to work. Gets about 7 extra yards at the end of that.
New set of downs for the Vikings with 3 minutes on the clock. From the Detroit 47. Bradford throws, and a diving catch is made by Thielen at the Lions 30. What a play. And Bradford remains down.
You can see him wincing as he gets up.
On the hit from Antoine Williams.
Working on the outside. That's just a great effort by Adam Thielen. And I tell you what, he actually did something good pre-snap that I'll tell you after this play.
Well, Bradford hangs in there. Asiata is met by Glover Quinn. So as we approach the 2-minute warning.
On the pre-snap on that last play with the big catch by Adam Thielen, he actually, on the opposite side of the field, got Cordero Patterson lined up into a legal formation before that play.
We hit the 2-minute warning in Minneapolis with the Vikings trailing the Lions by 4.
It was sponsored by KFC's new $10 chicken share, a bucket for 2. KFC is finger licking good.
2 minutes remaining. 4th quarter. Vikings trail by 4. 2nd and 10 from the Lions 30. Bradford complete to Diggs. That's his 11th reception. Most by a Viking this year. Stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to run. Gain of 8.
Now they've got plenty of time. You can just manage the clock here without having to worry about getting out of bounds. See what happens at the tail end of this with the tackle. See if he gets tied up down lower leg area.
Lions medical staff checking on Nevin Lawson. Minnesota Vikings lost Teddy Bridgewater just prior to the start of the regular season. Acquired Sam Bradford from the Eagles. Lost Adrian Peterson. But they start the season 5-0. Have lost their last 2 games. And a change at offensive coordinator earlier this week. So Mike Zimmer's Vikings with 1:48 to play, trailing by 4. 3rd down and 2. Movement prior to the snap.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
That's a huge penalty committed by the rookie out of Alabama, Ashawn Robinson.
Yeah, you've got that being echoed down the line of scrimmage by your defense in the huddle. You're inside 5 yards. It's a big heads up about hard count by the quarterback. So just unacceptable right there by Ashawn Robinson.
And he knew it.
Yeah.
So it gives the Vikings a first down from the Lions 17. Bradford throws to the end zone. Patterson dropped it.
liked Mike Zimmer's response after the Chicago game. He said the reason there was they just made all the plays. We didn't make any plays. We didn't deserve to win that game. Here's an opportunity. We've talked about him a lot today, Cordero Patterson, with an opportunity to perhaps get this to a tie game, and he can't complete the catch.
Second and 10 from the Detroit 17. On the slant, it's Thielen. Gain of 5 to the Lions 12.
He's been the key guy on this drive. Let's see if Ashawn Robinson can make a play defensively to make up for that neutral zone infraction.
Third down and 4. Bradford's pass was deflected. It was intended for Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph not quite ready for this. You can see he's going to be slow to get his head around. The ball's on top of him right away, trying to navigate that traffic right there. Little confusion at the top of the route. Yet kind of the post route coming in, the corner route going out.
And you mentioned Robinson would love to make a play, and he got a piece of that pass. Ashawn Robinson looking to make up for the penalty, so it is now 4th down and 4. Vikings must get to the 7th for a first down. Bradford over the top, and Diggs picks up a first down. A timeout is taken by the Lions. So the clock stops with 1:11 remaining.
Well, you talked about him, Kenny. Opportunities for points during the game. Chad Greenway with the interception gives Minnesota great field position. They end up having to punt on that red zone possession. A missed extra point, then a blocked field goal. Glover Quinn scoops it up. They take it down, and Detroit actually gets a field goal off that. And then again in the red zone on a 4th down, Detroit's defense stuffs Matt Asiata, and they get no points. So a couple of red zone appearances without points for Pat Shurmur and his crew. And that's been an Achilles heel the last couple of weeks here. They've had those losses.
Lions have used their final timeout. New set of downs for the Vikings. Bonus coverage coming up. Giants and Eagles, with the Giants leading by 8. Just over 10 minutes remaining in that one. There's Blair Walsh. Hit the right upright on that extra point attempt. Blocked field goal. 4-point deficit for the Vikings. Vikings with 1st and goal from the Lions 3. Minnesota with 2 timeouts. Minnesota looking to stay perfect at home this season, following wins over Green Bay, the New York Giants, and Houston. 1st and goal. Asiata in the backfield. Rudolph split wide to the right. Bradford on 1st down, complete to Diggs, and Diggs will be tackled at the 2. Bonamosi the tackle as we hit 1 minute remaining.
This is a nice tackle by Johnson Bonamosi, because it looks like there's going to be an opportunity there. Good job finding his way through there on that quick screen.
2nd and goal from the 2. Asiata down to the 1-yard line. Raphael Bush the tackle. 3rd and goal, now 30 seconds remaining. And now the Vikings will use a timeout. So down to 27 seconds remaining. Mike Zimmer, of course, without some key players, including Adrian Peterson. We check in with Lauren.
it's hard not to be thinking about him right now in this situation. I talked to Adrian yesterday. Quick update. He's been doing different weight-bearing exercises to help maintain strength, but the next step is a big one, to get clearance for squats and heavier weight exercises to build that crucial strength and explosiveness. He's seeing doctors today, Kenny, hoping he's allowed to keep pushing.
All right, thanks, Laura. Well, Darryl, for the second time, Vikings go back to their secret weapon. Linval Joseph, he was in when the Vikings scored their touchdown back in the third quarter.
They threw a pass with him in there that time.
On third down, the ball comes loose, but it was ruled a touchdown. Red Ellison crossed the plane.
We saw this play earlier in the season. This is another one that people are recognizing down here in the goal line. You're going to come across here. It's going to be a handoff to the tight end. You get outflanked right away. Now all Rhett Ellison has to do is break the plane with that ball. Sure looks like he did. So the hit by Glover Quinn that knocks the ball loose, that play is already dead. Ruled a touchdown right now. Touchdown, Minnesota. Just a step late for Glover Quinn.
So Rhett Ellison, whose dad Ricky won a couple of Super Bowls, the ex-49er and Raider. Rhett, the first native of New Zealand to play in the NFL.
That might have been the easy part, Kenny, scoring the touchdown.
Right.
Here comes the challenging part.
Walsh, extra point. It is good. There's a flag.
See if we got running into the kicker, roughing the kicker here. And that's the scary part. That's why they have that rule in place. You have that leg, that plant leg down.
Foul, roughing the kicker.
Well, it's been a rough day for the kicker, Blair
Foul,
Walsh.
roughing the kicker by the defense. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The try is good.
So the Vikings score the go-ahead touchdown in the final half minute. Ellison into the end zone. In the second half, Vikings have the extra point off the right upright. Blocked field goal, then Prater connected from 53. That gave Detroit a 13-9 lead, but now the Vikings drive 13 plays, 79 yards. Rhett Ellison, first career rushing touchdown, and the Vikings have taken a 3-point lead. There's Ashawn Robinson committed that key penalty on a third down.
One of the things that both teams talked about when we visited with them this weekend was situational football. Detroit very good situationally at the end of the half to get their points. Really kind of the indicator for games right now. And then the Minnesota Vikings do a great job with their situational football to take the lead.
Kickoff from midfield following the penalty for roughing the kicker. So now the Lions, who trail for the first time today with only 23 seconds and no timeouts. Matthew Stafford has been the king of the fourth quarter comeback, but not a lot of time left.
Well, Coach Caldwell has them practice very, very difficult situations. Situations just like this, no timeouts left, need a field goal to win the game. This is something they do at practice all the time. Matt Prater has a big leg. Can they get enough distance to give him an attempt with just 23 seconds left?
Right, he has the longest field goal in NFL history, 64 yards in Denver. Vikings drop 3 defensive backs back on the other side of the 50 as Stafford hits Golden Tate, steps out of bounds at the 33, down to 17 seconds. How about that note?
Well, that gives you some hope, right? And I just like what Coach Caldwell shared with us, that situation. When we do it, we don't do stuff that's real easy for these guys. We make it as difficult as we possibly can when we do situational components of the game.
Lions need to go about 25 yards to give Prater a chance to tie the game. From the 33, Stafford steps up. No timeouts remaining. Catch is made by Roberts, and that's about the spot they needed to get to. Stafford will try and spike it. Time winding down. Well, we said they needed 25 yards. They get 27. So the line of scrimmage is the 40. This would be approximately a 58-yard attempt.
I can't tell you how efficient that was just executed by the Detroit Lions. In 15 seconds, they hit a big play into the middle of the field, get everybody up in a legal formation to clock that ball to give Matt Prater an opportunity. That was well done. Excellent execution by Jim Caldwell and his offense.
Prater hit from 53 earlier this quarter. This a 58-yard attempt for the tie from the left hash. Prater's kick from 58 is good.
That is so well done. I cannot tell you how difficult that is. At 17 seconds, the aggressive play by Matthew Stafford in that situation with the confidence with everybody on the offense. He takes a shot in the middle of the field. Minnesota's going to allow you the middle of the field because you don't have any timeouts left. Look at the distance he clears, 58 by.
So the Lions get the ball with 23 seconds left at their own 25, no timeouts, and they tie the game. Incredible.
And I liked what Minnesota did when they had the penalty at midfield. Blair Walsh teed it up, tried to kind of mortar kick that one down into the corner so there would be some time taken off the clock in that situation to make it even harder for Detroit. Just didn't execute that well. They got the ball at the 25, and then Matthew Stafford, unbelievable.
So we are headed for overtime here in Minneapolis, tied at 16. Both teams, of course, will have an opportunity unless the first possession is a touchdown or a safety.
We will now begin a 15-minute overtime period. After each team's had an opportunity to possess the ball, it will become sudden death. If the first score is a field goal, the other team will have a chance. If each team has 2 timeouts, all replays will be conducted from the booth, will be stopped by the booth, and timing rules are the fourth quarter. Detroit, it's your choice. What's your call? Tails. Tails is the call. Tails is the call. It is tails. Detroit has won the toss. They wish to receive. Which direction do you want to kick?
Well, it was 10-9 early in the fourth quarter. Did you expect overtime?
I did not. I did not see this coming. And especially did not see that one coming with only 23 seconds left.
As we begin overtime, what a job by Matthew Stafford and the Lions to tie this game.
It's just amazing. Look right down here, 17 seconds left. So Minnesota's going to allow you to have the middle of the field. Give him a little bit too much on this play right here. This is just a great catch by Andre Roberts right there, and then everybody understanding the situation, legal formation, clock it, give your kicker an opportunity on a long field goal to tie the game. And again, Jim Caldwell told us when we practice situational football, we make it hard on our guys. When we do 2-minute, we don't give them 1 timeout, 2 timeouts. We try to go with 0 timeouts in adverse conditions. It paid off right there.
Sure did. There's Roberts on the return, and he'll be tackled at the 13-yard line. So the Lions will have the first opportunity here in overtime. Lions' first 8 games decided by a combined 29 points, second fewest all time. And the Lions will become the first team in history, Darryl, to have their first 9 games in a season decided by 7 points or fewer.
Just a typical Sunday afternoon for the Detroit Lions.
A 58-yard field goal by Matt Prater to send the game into overtime. And now Stafford on first down, complete to Golden Tate out of the 21-yard line for a gain of 8.
And what does this Minnesota defense do to respond? Remember, that was a great drive. We've talked about the efficiency of giving Matt Prater that opportunity to tie the game with a field goal. But the majority of the second half, this Minnesota defense has just dominated Detroit's offense. Ninth
overtime game in the NFL this season. Of course, there have been ties the last 2 weeks. Arizona and Seattle, followed by Washington and Cincinnati and London. On 2nd and 2, it's Riddick. And Theo Riddick is forced out of bounds by Everson Griffin, shy of the marker.
That was a nice job by Theo Riddick just to get back close to the original line of scrimmage. Looked like he might have had the potential to be thrown for a couple-yard loss there.
Lost a yard. 3rd down and 3.
Anquan Boldin at the top of your screen.
Stafford on 3rd down, complete for a 1st down.
Actually, Eric Ebron it was.
Ebron takes it all the way out to the 43-yard line, a 23-yard connection.
I thought that was Anquan, and they go for the big body there. This is even a bigger body. Working against Harrison Smith, just going to run a little inside route. Got Golden Tate there to create some traffic, and all of a sudden Harrison Smith is in a trail position. Good play design by the Lions.
Career high 90 yards today for Ebron on 6 receptions. 1st and 10 from the 43. Play action. And Stafford was looking to set up the screen. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Good play by Anthony Barr on that, recognizing the screen, getting out there. Good decision by Matthew Stafford, just dunked that one down. Line up again.
Opening possession of overtime. 2nd and 10. Stafford to Ebron. And it's Xavier Rhodes who knocks him down along with Chad Greenway. Gain of just 2. So it will be 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, but Xavier Rhodes may have hurt his shoulder on this big hit right here. Eric Ebron is a big man. He's jogging off the field right now.
Replaced by Mackenzie Alexander. So Rhodes to the sideline. 3rd down and 8 for the Lions. Stafford to Golden Tate for a Detroit 1st down. To the Vikings 43.
I really like this play design. On the top of the field, they had a double move with Marvin Jones Jr. against Mackenzie Alexander. Mackenzie Alexander played it really well. Then on the bottom side, opposite side to that, Golden Tate with a hard push comeback route just past the sticks. Opportunity for a big play if the double move works. If not, you've got your bailout for the 1st.
Xavier Rhodes still on the sideline for the Vikings. 1st and 10 from the Minnesota 43. On the toss, it is Riddick. And Theo Riddick able to gain 5 down to the 38-yard line.
Again, it's been a key part for both of these teams. They both stayed with the run. And for the Detroit Lions, it's been Theo Riddick and Dwayne Washington. They've been getting some tough yards. And for Minnesota, Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata fighting inside. Ronnie Hillman getting some tough yards inside. They've tried to balance that passing game with some run threats. Xavier Rhodes back in the lineup.
2nd down and 5. From the Vikings 38. Stafford in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 43-yard line. Everson Griffin with the sack.
Boy, as Matthew Stafford is about to escape, this ball is in one hand, and a little stumble there. That's why he's got to hold it. He had his eyes up that way, but watch here in the pocket. He's going to try to escape. Now that ball's in one hand up in the air at first when he has some contact. Some good hand strength right there by Matthew Stafford to hold on.
Team leading 6th sack of the season for Griffin. 10. Following the sack from the Vikings 43. As Stafford throws, and there is a flag. Rhodes defending Marvin Jones Jr., the intended receiver.
Now, we've seen him letting them play on the outside all afternoon. But on this one, yeah, you got a little tug there, so you've got the hold. Not a whole lot to defend yourself on that one.
Defense, number 29. The foul happened at the 30-yard line. The ball was placed there. First down.
3rd and 10. And it's a penalty that gets you the first down.
Two teams have scored a touchdown on their first possession in overtime this season. It's the first overtime game for both of these teams. Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer 3-0 in overtime as head coach of the Vikings. From the 30 on first down, it's Riddick.
Again, the ability to be productive in the run. You know, he had the explosive run there in the first quarter. That's going to give you a lot of confidence. And this is a Detroit team that has struggled to run the ball during the course of the season, going against a Minnesota team that had a tough game against Chicago. And offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter's been able to dial up some nice runs here all throughout the game.
The 72 yards on the ground for Riddick, a season high for any Lion running back this season. Play clock is at 3. On second down, the toss, it's Riddick. And Riddick will lose yardage, forced out of bounds at the 29.
Boy, it's the second time Everson Griffin just up the field immediately right here. And again, almost an opportunity for another really big negative run. Goes underneath and has the athletic ability almost to get to the side. They lose a couple yards, but almost lost more with a great play by Everson Griffin.
Opening possession of overtime, 3rd down and 8. Lions must get to the 20 for a first down. Stafford throws, and it's complete to Golden Tate, who has a first down and then dives to the end zone for a Lions touchdown.
I tell you, that's just an amazing job by Golden Tate staying in bounds. Mike Zimmer, his team is in shock right now. Working on the outside. This is a heck of a throw by Matthew Stafford right here. He's high load right there. Does Golden Tate tap the sidelines and stay in bounds? All scoring plays reviewed, so we'll get a confirmation here. Well, I tell you, that's some fancy footwork if he pulls that one off. But if he does, and this is a loss by Minnesota.
We will review the ruling on the field. We will review the ruling on the field.
Tate stayed in bounds.
So this is going to be ruled a touchdown. So as devastating as Philadelphia was, as devastating as Chicago was, this is going to be real difficult for the Minnesota Vikings to bounce back from.
Waiting confirmation of the game-winning score. Golden Tate able to stay in bounds.
That's just tremendous on the sideline. All that momentum going towards the sideline and be able to stop that, change direction, and get downfield for a touchdown.
While we await confirmation, we'll step out. Back in a moment. There's
the
Golden
ruling
Tate.
on the field is confirmed. The runner stayed in bounds, and the ball crossed the plane of the goal line in his possession. Touchdown, and the game is over.
Well, Golden Tate has now been involved in a couple of crazy endings throughout his career.
Yeah, unbelievable. This is just tremendous footwork on the sideline. All that momentum, shifts it, changed it, gets it going in the other direction. And again, just a devastating loss for the Minnesota Viking. And hats off to the Lions. Tremendous resiliency to get it through the end of the game.
So the Lions win it. To Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Giants, Eagles.